Oh na 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 na. Bam bam. Oh na 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 na. Bam bam. Oh na 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 na. Bam bam. Oh na 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 na. Big it up. Oh na 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 na. Big it up. Oh na 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 na. Bam bam. Bam 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 day. Bam 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 day. Bam 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 day.
This is Robert Taylor. Welcome to Home and Away Jamaica Real Estate TV. And we're also joined by my co-host, Paulette Price from Red Roof Properties. Today we've invited Patsy to join this show. Patsy lives in the UK, and Patsy has an interest in returning or coming to live in Jamaica. Patsy will tell us a little bit about what has motivated her to return to Jamaica, but more importantly, we're here today to answer some of her burning questions. I'm sure Patsy has some anxiety. It's natural in making this change, which is a significant life change. She will have some anxieties, and hopefully we'll be able to respond and mitigate some of her concerns and some of her questions and help her make that path home with less of an obstacle, because making this transition, certainly I can imagine, may have some stresses. So welcome, Patsy. Glad to have you.
Welcome, Patsy.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So Patsy, tell us, how long have you been living in the UK?
Around 40 years.
And how much memory do you have of Jamaica?
Loads of memory. My most formative years I spent in Jamaica. I came here when I was 12 and a half, so I do remember a lot of Jamaica.
And have you been returning periodically over that period?
Yeah, for the past 4 years, I've been there and spent at least 6-7 months at a time.
Wow. Yes.
So,
Good. Yeah, that's
yeah.
good.
So what is it then, Patsy, that has spurred that desire for you to come back to Jamaica and stay on a permanent basis?
The desire was always there. It was just to get the right time. So, because I was born in Jamaica, it's always been my home, nowhere else. Even though I've been living here for 40 years, but I'm always saying that I'm coming back to Jamaica. Maybe sooner, it should have been sooner than later. But as you said, nothing never happened before the time.
Yes, absolutely. Well, you'll be glad to know as well that, like you, Paulette grew up in the UK and made the transition back to Jamaica. So Paulette, we could say, is one of our success stories.
Okay.
So I think there may be no one more ideally suited to give you some guidance and share her own experiences. So what we'd like to do is more specifically ask you to maybe reach out in this program with some of your burning questions. I understand, may be interested in purchasing property in Jamaica and maybe a little skeptical about the process, unsure. I'm an attorney at law. In addition to this experience is a real estate broker. So I think together we should be able to address some of your questions.
Okay.
So do you have your questions ready for us, Patsy?
Well, my question really is mainly location, really. Like, I mean, there must be a lot of the time where, I don't know, some people go back into where they come from, like in their own area.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yes.
But because I left Jamaica for so long, I'm just kind of like,
right. I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, exploring the areas and yeah.
All right. So I'll take the lead on that question. I get calls from people from all over the world, and our experiences are very similar. Obviously, I was born in England actually, and I first came to Jamaica at the age of 13, and I fell in love from then. And to me, I always had to find a way to get here. And eventually, and I understand what you're saying about where do you choose to live. And if you left here as a young child, you probably wouldn't want to go back to the same place that you were born and grew up, because your lifestyle is different. So one of the things I always ask people is, what is it that you want to do when you get here? So is it that you'll be working? Are you going to be setting up your own business? What kind of work is it that you're going to do? Or is it that you're just going to come home and just live leisurely? So that's also quite important. But one of the things I would say is that when you come here to visit, where do you stay when you come for those 7 months at a time?
Sorry, where do I stay?
Where do you stay in Jamaica when you come for those 7 months at a time?
Well, my parents are in St. Catherine in Bushy Park. So,
right. And do you like it there? Do you feel comfortable there?
No.
All right. So what is it you're looking for? Is it that you want to be around people, more returning residents? Is it that you want to be more where the social life is? What is it that you're looking for?
More, a bit of both, actually. Social life, returning residents, like, and a mixture of, I don't mind being in a mixed community, but in a community where I feel safe, basically.
Yes, definitely.
You know? Right. So, yeah, I don't mind being in a mixed community. I just don't like Bushy Park because I think it's not centralized, it's too way out.
Right, okay, all right.
I want to.
And when you come, are you going to be, working for somebody? You're going to work for yourself? What is it that you're going to do?
I really want to come and be a part of Jamaica, like do work for, I tell you that the place that I really want to think I might even try to get to work in is like voluntary, is to work with Food for the Poor. I just got my eye on there to do some voluntary work, basically there. So I want to come there and find my feet. And I've been here for so long. I think I've been in a career of housing for how many years, and I just feel that I don't want to go back into that field. I don't know right now.
All right.
No.
So that's not a problem. You and I can work on that when the time comes. One of the things I used to do before I actually moved here was I used to attend a lot of networking events and just find out more about the different parishes, who does what, and where's the best place to live. So for me, I came to do real estate. So Kingston is one of those places that you live to do real estate because it's very active here, although it's active in different parts of Jamaica as well. But I'm one of those agents who travel all over the island. So that's quite easy. And as time goes on, we'll meet more and more of each other because we don't look like we come from another country until we're in the shop and we hear an accent. And then we reach out to each other. But one of the first things that I would always recommend that you do anyway is to sort out your paperwork. So you were born here, you've got your born in England, I should say. Well, you've got your British passport, you're born in Jamaica. But I don't know if you've got a Jamaican passport as well. Yeah. I always recommend to people have both.
Yeah, I've got both.
Right.
I'm dual citizen.
Right, so it serves its purpose. Yeah. Then you need to get your TRN.
Which I've got that already.
Perfect, you're on your way. So once you and I sat down and work together, I will work out if I'm going to send you listings like, are they going to be houses? Are they going to be apartments? Do you want a 1-bedroom? Do you want a 2-bedroom? We'll work through all of that.
Okay.
And let us say then we find a property for you. So to actually purchase a property in Jamaica, following on from the Proceeds of Crime Act, I have to know who you are. So we have something what we call KYC, know your clients. And it's no different from in the UK when you open a bank account now that you have to give them ID. Exactly, so it's no different. So we need your ID, we need your TRN, we need a proof of address, which would be a utility bill or something. And then you would have to complete a form for me called a customer information form.
Okay. So you'd email that through to all those
I would
teams?
email all of that through to you. So
Okay.
let's just say we found a property and we're going to put in an offer. This is where I always say to my clients, you must use the services of the professionals.
Of course.
So when you're making a purchase, you then have to have an attorney, not any old attorney. You must have a conveyancing attorney, of which Robert is a conveyancing attorney. So he can talk you through that side of things.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
So, Robert, do you want to come in here now to talk about the attorney side of things?
Well, Patsy, one of the things we would do is once you have settled on a property, Paulette's firm will advise us, give us the details. We would receive an agreement for sale, which is your contract, which basically outlines the terms of the purchase. We would discuss those terms with you, make sure that you're comfortable with them. If you're going part cash, part mortgage, then we'll involve the mortgage company. We'll provide documents and copies of particular documents that the mortgage company would want. You would probably require a valuation so that you have a clear sense that what you've offered for the property, the valuation or appraisal stands up. We would also ask you to do a surveyor's identification report, which effectively confirms that the property you're buying has boundaries that are not in breach of what the local authorities approved. And then the process, a straight cash process, a cash sale, we can complete in 30 days. If there's a mortgage involved, it's generally about 90 days. But there's a lot more involved in the back end. Our process is not electronic. We don't have electronic deeds in the way you would be familiar with it in the UK. So there's a lot of backing and forthing between the stamp office, the titles office, the financial institution, if a financial institution is involved. But our role is to manage that side. We don't pull you in to that side of the process at the most. You'll sign the agreement sale, you'll sign the contract, and we'll keep you updated during the process as to where exactly we are. And then on closing, unlike other jurisdictions, you don't have to have a physical closing. Once you sign docs, we can close remotely, and you will be issued possession letters so that you can connect your light, your water. We'll ensure that property taxes have been paid. We'll do the relevant title searches to make sure there are no mortgages, no liens, no encumbrances on title. So that's fairly a 90-day process. But as I said, with a cash sale, we can do it in a shorter time frame.
All right. Okay. So, okay.
Yes, so you have, you know, a few things to consider and think about. Paulette has outlined the actual sourcing and how you'd go about identifying communities. Just from listening to you as well, it seems that if you want to do community work, Kingston is an option, certainly in terms of property availability and options. You have a mix of single family units if you wanted to live in a community, say Meadowbrook or Hope Gardens or Mona. There's also the option of multi-family dwellings, and there are several options. You can, you know, choose a very quaint complex that maybe has 10 units, 20 units, but still gives you that feeling of security. You can always jump on the highway and get to Bushy Park to your parents if that's a concern. And if you want to do charity, volunteer work, then as you would know, Kingston is you know, a dearth of options. So, you know, from food for the poor, which I think is a good option. There are several others and several activities that I think you could immerse in, and the community, and certainly Paulette could help you, you know, with even other expats from
Yes.
the UK to give you that
Okay.
sense of assimilation and comfort.
Okay. Okay.
And
Yeah.
we just want, Patsy, we just want you to know that it is possible. I've lived here now for 13 years. This month is
13.
my 13th. Yes, 1-3. Yes.
Oh, you miss UK?
I only miss my people. I don't
Yeah.
miss the things about England at all. I just miss my people. So,
Okay.
but I go back regular on business and pleasure. Yeah, but this is home for me.
All right.
It's where
Okay.
the heart is.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
How soon
Okay.
are you thinking of making the move, Patsy, just out of interest?
Well, at the moment, by the end of this year, actually.
Oh, okay. So we need to start talking now.
Yeah, by the end of this year.
Yes.
Because I was down there in March. I think I came up the beginning of March, just before the lockdown.
Yes.
And I think everything kind of slowed down up here, so that's why I had to move my time to the end of the year.
Yes.
I'd have liked to have been out there around this time, but because of all what's going on, to put it back to the end of the year. But yeah.
Well, Patsy, we're happy you made the decision.
Okay.
I think we've very much welcomed Jamaicans who've lived away coming back to reinvest in our country. I think it's very important.
Yeah.
Paulette is that example. Paulette has come and she's a real contributor to business activity. She's found her way around. And so I'm sure in discussions with you, she can give you that reassurance. And I really welcome, and we both do, Jamaicans who make what can be a very difficult decision when you've grown accustomed to a particular way of life. But there are times in life, we all have to make that change in our status quo and step out and take some risk if we want some fulfillment in our life. So we applaud you for making that decision, because we're pretty sure there are a lot more persons like you who would like to make the decision, but still are a little apprehensive. So hopefully, you coming on the program today will help others, encourage others, and from some advice that we've given, persons will feel more encouraged.
Yeah, I hope so.
I'm pretty sure.
I hope so.
Thanks again, Patsy, for joining us today. We wish you all the best and certainly look forward to seeing you when you make that trip to Jamaica.
Okay, thank you.
Working with you as well, Patsy, on finding that dream home.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon.
Thanks for joining Home and Away Jamaica Real Estate TV. Until next time, bye-bye.
Bye for now.
Oh la 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 la, bamba. Oh la 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 la.